Greetings and welcome to Careful Conversations at the Kitchen Table. My name is Jane Barton. I serve as the Caregiving Ambassador for AARP, the sponsor of this program. And I want to thank you for swinging by the kitchen table today to chat about some important aspects of the caregiving journey, caregiving from the inside out. Today I want to talk about the idea of legacy, the impressions, the impact, the things that we leave behind in our lives after we are gone. Now, legacy is an important discussion and it's an important topic, and I realized this when I worked in hospice and palliative care. Oftentimes when I would sit by the bedside of someone with a terminal illness, we would do a life review, and we would talk about what they had done and what they had accomplished, and we would also talk about their hopes and fears. And strangely enough, rarely did people talk about their fear of death. Instead, they were more fearful of being insignificant. They wanted to make sure that their life had meant something, that they were leaving something of importance behind to their children and their grandchildren, maybe even to the greater community. So before we are confronted with the prospect of the end of our journey, it's important for all of us to consider, what are we leaving behind? What tracks have we made? What impressions do we have left to make? And to consider that intentionally. Now, over the course of a lifetime, I think this urge to leave something of importance bubbles up periodically based on what's going on in our lives. And legacy, as we all know, legacy is something that's handed down from one generation to another. And I think far too often we assume that's a financial legacy. The gold, the stocks, the bonds, the property that we have acquired. And that certainly is an important legacy. But there are other legacies to consider, I think, that might be actually more valuable. Consider a legacy of love, a legacy of caregiving, a legacy of faith, a legacy of work, maybe a legacy of learning, adventure, courage, and one of humor and fun. Now, these are all very positive legacies, but we have to recognize there are other legacies that may not serve us as well, and maybe legacies we no longer want to perpetuate. For example, a legacy of addiction, maybe a legacy of abuse and violence, anger, suicide, depression, and fear. Now, because we are intentionally examining the tracks we are leaving behind, we can then have the option to reshape or update some legacies, to create a legacy that we are proud of, that is significant, that is beneficial. And perhaps we want to create an entirely new legacy that we can leave behind with our thumbprint on it. So consider this. If today is the end of your road, if there is no tomorrow for you, what tracks have you left behind? What impressions have you made? And what is left to be done? What is your legacy? And what difference have you made in this world? Consider these questions carefully, because the answers are profoundly important. What you leave behind matters to your family, your friends, and to the greater community. And you have the opportunity to make a significant difference in this world. So I want to thank you again for stopping by the kitchen table. If you have other questions and concerns around caregiving, please check out the Caregiving Resource Center offered to you by AARP, or check out my website, Cardinal Life. Both website addresses will be noted at the end of this video. I encourage you to check back in periodically for new conversations. And until our paths cross again, I wish you and yours many blessings in the journey.